This is an important part of emotional discipline. An important part of emotional discipline, right? And this is something that's not going to come off to you as if that's what it is, right? But this important part of emotional discipline to understand is that you don't need to speak to a woman with a certain level of consistency and a certain level of investment unless you will be able to maintain that, right? You need to be able to maintain that until you see her without her losing interest. To understand what I'm saying. So let's say you meet a woman online, right? And maybe you say some slick shit, you catch your hand in the cookie jar, you get some good shit off. She's investing in the conversation, and she's trying to make things sexual. You know what I mean? You're making things sexual. She's reciprocating that energy. She could be sending you some news. She could be saying all this stuff she wants to do to you, right? But what can happen is this. Let's say, and within an hour, you send each other back 20 messages, and then you set up when you're going to link up. If when you link up is not going to be in a close enough proximity, then what's going to happen is this. If you keep messaging that woman for too long, then she is going to lose interest because you're doing too much, right? But on the other side, if you message her a whole bunch and then you just stop out the blue, and then when you just stop out the blue and you have a date that y'all supposed to meet up and y'all supposed to link up and get it popping, get shit shaking, if you don't really say anything to her between then that woman's social programming will pop up, right? So this is the thing. Avoid love bombing, right? Avoid love bombing. That's one aspect of emotional discipline. Because on one side, that love bombing can do a couple different things. For some women, if you were to love bomb them, and it's not something somebody's doing purposefully to be manipulative most of the time. A lot of the times you're just really excited about a conversation, but you have to act like you've been there before, right? Even if you haven't been there, you got to act like you've been there before and pace out your interactions with a woman to where it's something that you can be consistent with and maintain and sustain. See, another aspect of it is this. Let's say you're talking to a woman, you haven't linked up yet, and she calls you. She can even call you, and you're on the phone for hours, right? If you can't maintain that consistently, then it's going to be an issue. But on the other side, if you're doing too much and you're talking to her way too much, she's not going to have the interest level. The mystery is going to be gone. And she's not going to have the interest level to want to continue to keep that up with you. So you kind of put yourself in a catch-22 type of situation. You can't let a woman know too much about you too soon. You got to make sure that a lot of the conversations you have with each other to get to know each other are conversations that you're having in person. You get what I'm saying? You want to have those conversations in person. When you go through that process and you flirt with a woman, you catch your hand in the cookie jar, whatever it is, you start flirting with her, some sexual shit going on. She might be sending you news. She might be sending you sex tapes. I don't know. You know what? I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just not a judgmental guy, but women do not mind sending me videos of them sucking dick or fucking guys or whatever it is, or sometimes even girls. They just do not mind. And I don't be asking most of the time. Like, I don't be asking to get a video of women fucking other guys and sucking dick or something like that, But if they send it, that's cool with me. I'll watch it. But my thing is this. What you got to understand is that you need to only establish things with a woman that you can maintain and that you can sustain. And you have to have the emotional discipline to be able to end the conversation and still leave some mystery there. Because when a woman's social programming pops up, she's going to judge you based off of your consistency, right? When she's in that moment of being horny, then she's just going to think about the fact that she's horny, or she's into the conversation, or she's fucking with your energy. But if that energy isn't consistent for that woman, then she is going to have an issue. Now, you can be consistently inconsistent, right? Let's say you're a busy man. You got shit to do, right? You don't have all that time to be sitting there talking to a woman all the time. Then she will know that when she sees you, that's going to be the time she gets to spend time with you. It's going to be the time she gets to talk to you and have those conversations. And after you hit, you talk from time to time, but you got to pace it out. All right? So these are just some things to understand. Avoid love bombing women. Avoid it. Because with insecure women, sometimes love bombing can work, but you got to understand there's two types of insecurities, right? There's two types of insecurities. There's insecurities that cause somebody to pull in, and then there's insecurities that cause somebody to pull away. A lot of women are dismissive avoidant, and if a woman is dismissive avoidant, then or if she's even insecure, like if she doesn't have, or like if her attachment style isn't securely based, and sometimes even if it is securely based, inconsistency is a turnoff for a lot of women. It is. That's just something to understand. But what you got to understand is this. You know, make sure that you try to set up seeing her within a short proximity of when you shoot your shot and have that conversation, right? And that you don't up the output of communication that you're having with her if there's an extended period of time before when you can actually see one another, right? So me personally, I like to look at things like you want to set it up to where once you initiate making your sexual interest known, you know, it's best to see the woman the night of, the next day, or the day after that. If you're more than 48 hours removed from when you initiate having that sexual conversation with a woman, then oftentimes she will have enough time to leave that place where she's horny. She might masturbate to the videos you sent her, or to, you know, pictures you sent her if you like to sext or something like that, or to the things you said, or she might just go fuck somebody else off of the energy that you were putting into the situation. Or she may think to herself, you know what, this scenario, she could be cool with everything, right? She could be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come see you, I'm gonna do this, do that. But then after she sits back and thinks to herself, she's like, you know what, I think he should do more. Or she won't understand that what you want to do is avoid losing the mystery. So because she doesn't understand that you want to avoid losing the mystery, so that you still have things to talk about when you see her, or she doesn't understand that you want to not overstay your welcome in her inbox or some shit like that, that you're just trying not to overdo things. But the thing is this, if you're in a position where you're just falling out the blue, or you go through that long, arduous process of really flirting, really sexting, really doing all that stuff with a woman, if there's enough time between there, even if a woman agrees to come fuck with you, that doesn't mean that she won't lose interest before then, right? So try to make sure that when you're talking to a woman, if you're gonna do things like that, make sure that there's a short enough time and that you're only communicating with that woman in a way where you can do it somewhat consistently, but not too much to where you lose the mystery, right? Consistency versus mystery. Avoid love bombing.